Apparently, Candace Owens did a video on Riley Reid. Riley Reid is a former porn star, a very famous one at that. Sorry if I'm not up on my porn star lore. I remember she did some rapey stuff in the past. I don't know what this exact thing is about. You know, what's the video on? Listen to Black Voices, Vaush? Okay, let's listen.
A person that follows and or envies people like Amber Rose, Iggy Azalea, Emma Ratajkowski. Currently, a lot of what they're pitching is that there is empowerment in selling your body. Like for the first time, you get to decide how your body is being displayed on the internet. You get to decide what you're willing to give for what price. This is their argument and the conversations that they host regarding OnlyFans that actually.
Can I be honest for a sec? I actually really don't like the empowerment angle when it comes to sex work. It's not empowering, it's a job. If you find empowerment in the work you're doing, then okay, but I think that we have this, like, I don't know, maybe this liberal tendency, I think, to emphasize the girl boss empowerment angle when, let's be clear, most of the women who do sex work do so because they're low on money. Like, there are okay, we should examine critically that, oh my God, thank you for the $100, Terminage 2. I really appreciate that. My goodness. Hi to you as well. Or hi, because you had multiple eyes. The fact that a lot of girls will get on OF the moment they turn 18 to help pay for college bills, this is not like, the narrative here is not empowerment. The narrative here is economic deprivation. Now, of course, I do think that sex work should be legal, and I do think that, there are many jobs one could take, and there are plenty that are probably worse than being an OF model or whatever. I just don't like empowerment being framed as the central angle. That's all.
You should be proud of this. And what I always implore people, a lot of the young women that are perhaps being influenced by these people, to take a look at is their personal lives. Examine the personal lives of Amber Rose, Iggy Azalea, Emma Ratajkowski, and do not
Sorry to hear that, Palm Front Soda.
Wrongly conflate happiness with money, because that's what they're doing. It's, yes, you can make money off of your body and you can dictate how you make that money off of your own body if you go on to OnlyFans. But of course, there is going to be a knock-on effect in your personal life.
Why is Candace Owens, this fascist with no soul, not saying anything right now? Why is she rambling like this? What is this jibber jabber? What do you mean? We all make money off of our bodies. Even I do, of course. I appear here physically and I talk, and that's a part of my body. Like, you use your body to work, right? There is a group of people who makes money without the use of their body, and we call them the bourgeoisie. But for workers, yeah, that's what it is. And it's not a matter of conflating happiness and money. You do need money in order to have the base material needs satisfied and allow you to be happy for the most part.
And that is where you really lose, especially because as you age, there's going to be less interest in your body. So at that point, what you have actually built in your personal life, right? The things that are actually going to matter are whether or not you are in a happy relationship. And it's difficult to get into a happy relationship when the men that are pursuing you do not respect you. This is why Emily Ratajkowski, despite being.
And yet, interestingly, there is no word to say that men should continue to respect women even if they're sex workers. Like, I like how this is being framed like the woman's problem, right? Like, yeah, have you ever considered that, like, men don't respect you because you're putting your tits on low? Okay, well, that seems like a them problem. I don't know. It's the modern world. People still think of sex workers as escorts and prostitutes who answer to pimps. The vast majority of sex workers these days are OnlyFans girls whose real day-to-day life is materially largely unaffected by the fact that they're posting their big honkers on OnlyFans. It's the dynamic has shifted. Some people are going to be uncomfortable with that. Some people are going to be fine with it. Work it out, right? But you can have difficulty getting a relationship because of any job, right? Like, jobs take away your time and your energy. They can sort of numb you to the world. The idea that OnlyFans makes it difficult to find a partner, I disagree. I think that if anything, OnlyFans might actually open up the most opportunities to find someone you're interested in. For what I imagine would be pretty obvious reasons.
So hot, got cheated on. This is why Amber Rose is not with her baby daddy. Well, there is a...
People cheat on hot partners all the time. Who was the guy who cheated on Sniper Wolf? I just remember everyone was talking about that. And he cheated on her, which had people doing a discourse. Yeah, very Giga Chad move. He's even winking at the camera here.
Porn star, a very successful porn star named, she goes by, her show name is Riley Reid. I think her actual real name is Riley something else, Riley Matthews. But she is making the rounds right now for an old video, just happens to have resurfaced, in which she admits that her life has been ruined by porn. Shocker. Take a listen.
Lost my whole family, and
To be clear, Riley Reid was not an OnlyFans girl. Riley Reid was like a super ultra like heavy drugs, heavy partying, 24/7 massive porn star, huge. Like this is not being a regular OnlyFans star. This is like diving into the like absolute apex of porn star stardom. We know. Don't quit advertising. We get it. You know who Riley Reid is. Wow, you masturbate. Congratulations.
it sucks. So a lot of times when people ask me if they should do porn, I tell them no. I tell them that it makes life really hard. It makes dating really hard. It makes your family life really hard. It makes intimacy hard. You're putting
It also should be noted that from what I know about her, I don't think Riley Reid is a good person. I don't think she's particularly smart. I don't really care about her, which means that her analysis of this isn't really something that I care about either. You know, because like for instance, what are some other things that can make life with your family hard? Well, coming out as gay, right? Coming out as queer. The reason why Candace Owens is going over this, of course, is because she's trying to do the whole like, you need to fall in line with social conservatism because it's the only path for happiness for you. Obviously, this is not the case because social conservatism meant women getting married off by their fathers at 18 to an older man who would then like beat you for the rest of your life and cheat on you. We're not, you know, not a great angle for all of this. Maybe we could find some kind of like happy middle ground where people do things that are happy for them. I do not think that anyone would want to live the life that Riley Reid has had, though, just from the impression that I've gotten. Yeah.
yourself out there and the world is now judging you. You have to be okay with being shamed every day of your life. I don't even want to have.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, maybe we should. Well, again, to be clear, I think it's okay for people to shame Riley Reid because she's bragged about raping a guy. But broadly with porn stars, you know, maybe that's a social issue that we could fix by not shaming them for that, possibly. Just performance art, really. It's like, it's being an actor, you know?
Children because I do porn because I'm worried of the way that people will treat my child. With me personally, my mom was supportive in the beginning. She kind of just let me do whatever, that I think it was a good thing. I had a lot of freedom. As time progressed and I became successful, I started to feel like my mom was using me so that she could live a more luxurious lifestyle. When I started to set like these boundaries, not giving her money or
It seems like all the stuff that she's talking about here are problems of other people. Like, other people judged me. My mom was bad, this, that, the other. But they're not actual essential issues with porn. Again, to be clear, I'm not claiming that there aren't issues with being a porn star. There certainly are. But I don't think this is really proving the point that Candace Owens is trying to make.
things like that. It made our relationship a bit more difficult and almost toxic. And so it sucks. I don't have a mom anymore. I don't talk to her. I miss having a mom. I feel like you can't rewind and you can't go back. I don't have that relationship with her anymore. I don't ever think I will. And that bums me out. Bums me out a lot. I talked to my dad and he struggles with my job being in the industry. He's also religious. Recently I wanted to go visit him and he said that I can't go visit because his wife, my stepmom, doesn't want me there.
What a cuck move. You're not going to see your daughter because your remarried wife, the stepmom of your daughter, doesn't want to see her? What a cuck. Well, to be fair, the dad probably doesn't want to see her either, and he's using that as an excuse, and he's just cowardly. But what a cucky excuse, even. Jesus Christ. That's pathetic. That's pathetic. That's so typical, though. Yeah, well, a lot of people are pathetic. But it's just, again, like, everything she's saying is, like, reactions other people have. By the way, conservatives make this argument when it comes to queer people, especially young queer people, too, where they try to frame it as though, like, hey, you don't want to be this thing. You don't want to be gay, right? You don't want to be trans. Because if you are, look at how everyone else will treat you. They'll do this like, oh, man, I hope one day we find out who's causing all the social stigma, pseudo argument where they're essentially just trying to threaten you into being normal because you'll face social repercussions if you don't. It's pretty bad. I want to make it really clear though. I'm really not endorsing Riley Reid's lifestyle. I'm not a expert on her or anything, but everything that I've heard really gives me the impression the porn industry isn't good. The porn industry is terrible. OnlyFans is not the porn industry. You can just make an OnlyFans. That's social media basically with more tits. The porn industry, like the real one, that's a whole thing, and it's very not good. I'm sure there are some studios that are fine, but you hear so many bad things. Oh no, I think that OnlyFans is a great thing for adult work, okay? Look, the fact of the matter is that young women's bodies are in high demand socially. Is that because of pedocon theory? Yes, of course. I'm not saying it's good, but it is true. That is undeniably the case. And a lot of young women need money. They want to pay for college. They want to maybe pay for a child they've had too early, They need money. We all need money. I need money. You hear about that car payment? I need money. No, I don't have an OnlyFans. So women have turned to sex work as a way of making money for literally all of human history. Much better that they do this on OnlyFans than they do this looking for a local pimp, right? Like, that's so much better. Doing actual porn star work, being an escort, any of this, these are way higher risk factors. Massively higher risk factors than doing an OnlyFans thing. Again, OnlyFans also not a great site. A lot of stuff they do I've heard that's not that great. They threatened to take nudity off their platform a while ago, then walked it back because people got mad. Really stupid shit. I'm just saying, like, people need money, right? People need money. This is kind of like the corollary to gang criminal activity. Like you're in the inner city. There's like very little economic opportunity. Your parents are either gone or don't have much money. They're not making much money. There are medical bills to pay. What are you going to do? Run drugs. I mean, hey, it might suck. It might be dangerous, but you're literally going to die if you don't. So why not be in the winning team in your neighborhood? And for a lot of women, it's sex work. And that says a lot about the power dynamics that we kind of have developed. But, it is what it is. I really regret not dealing more drugs. True.
I'm not allowed to go visit my dad anymore because my stepmom doesn't like that I do porn. But then he told me that when I was like, can we like go get coffee and like we could go like get breakfast, and he's like, I don't want to be seen in public with you. And
So yeah, this is the dad being a cuck. This has nothing to do, in this specific instance, this is Riley Reid being a confident Stacy and her dad being a soy bitch brained little gay boy. It's not her fault.
that just hurt so bad, and it sucks. I lost my family. I don't talk to like my brothers or sisters. I think that
like how we've had Candace here for like minutes so she can just stare dispassionately at the green dot that they've painted on the back of the studio wall. That's the dispassionate stare dot.
Kind of like try to take advantage of me and stuff, or they're just like, my dad don't want to be around me.
So, do I feel compassion for her? Yes and no. I will always feel compassion for somebody who has lost their entire family.
So the answer is no. Candace looks like a Shadow of Innsmouth fish person. That's what it is. We don't take kindly to strangers here. You're from out of town. She is doing it's. We've gone from deadpan stare into like wall-eyed stare a little bit. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I can see it.
And no, I will always feel compassion for somebody who has lost their entire family because you need family.
Well, whose family left her, to be clear. God, I so hope it's clear that people understand I'm not defending Riley Reid here. I'm just broadly discussing the politics of sex work and social conservatism. Riley Reid just happens to be the subject of this one.
And so, despite the fact that she obviously has a lot of money coming in, it is my understanding that she is one of, if not the biggest porn star that is out there.
Yeah, she should be loaded.
What does it mean? Who are you spending that money on and with? If you do not have family members, you have a bunch of people who sound like creatures. You said you lost your relationship with your mother.
She was giving money to her mom. She said that. And she has a kid, doesn't she? What? You have a lot of money. Who are you spending it on? Me. What?
Because you realize that she was only okay with you doing porn to the extent that it would provide her money. So your relationship with your mother became transactional, just as your relationship with the people that follow and love you is completely transactional.
I think Riley Reid is aware of the fact that she doesn't have an actual mutual romantic relationship with the millions of guys who have jerked off to her videos. Maybe she's going to realize this for the first time when she watches this video. Riley Reid's going to boot up the computer and look at this, and she's going to go, "Oh, that wasn't real love." She's going to learn, you know, incredible brain magic at hand here. Yeah.
You know, they love you to the point that you can put sex out for them, right? And pornography is just such a deviant category.
Yeah, see, there it is. Ultimately, the only real argument that Candace has here is that it's deviant, is that it's degenerate, it's socially unaccepted. Because what she's talking about here also applies to Candace Owens. Candace Owens' relationship with her audience is also transactional. They'll only care about her insofar as she can deliver Blittler arguments to them. Well, in her case, they're just regular Hitler arguments. You know, Blittler would be like Louis Farrakhan. This is just Hitler stuff. It's exactly the same. Same with me. But this like meaningless. Like, again, notice how all of the arguments here are really weak, but the only thing that she said that actually has some kind of like distinct relationship with pornography is the accusation of deviance. An obsession with social deviance and a fear of social deviance, these are very hardwired into conservative brains. They are so baked in, you know, an obsession, a weakness, an obsession with what is socially permissible. And again, to be clear, I don't think the lifestyle that Riley Reid has had I don't think that's probably a good one for a number of reasons. But that's not because of the sex work. That's because of, you know, her and specific things with the sex work and the porn industry. But if you just want to put your asshole on OnlyFans and people respect you less for that, I really think that's a them problem. To be clear, if you're an okay, let me just say, because I follow a lot of OnlyFans girls on Twitter, because a lot of them follow me and I follow back, and you know, and I see their assholes. That's great. But if you're an OnlyFans model and the asshole's out there, whatever, and there's somebody who doesn't want to date you because of that, like they don't think you'd make a good partner or the right partner for them because of the OnlyFans thing, I think that's a valid thing for them to believe. I don't think that makes them a bad person at all. If you don't want your partner doing OnlyFans stuff, I think that's a completely valid bias to have, unless they're an asshole about it. Oh, I'm not saying they can be an asshole about it. I'm just saying that if that's something they're not okay with, that's their right. Because you're allowed to have arbitrary preferences when it comes to your partners. That's fine. Guys, I've got lots of arbitrary preferences when it comes to people I want to spend my time with. You know, that's, yeah, you're allowed your preferences. It's like the genital preference discourse. By the way, everyone who's ever argued about genital preferences being transphobic, they're a CIA agent sent into the left to create negative discourse, okay? Obviously, people have preferences for some genitalia. What the f*** are you talking about? You can't argue a person out of that. Well, you're like a guy is like, you know, oh, I just, you know, I don't have an issue with trans women. I'm just not really attracted to penises. And you're like, that's transphobic. What are you going to get out of that? What are you going to convince them? Are you going to, how are you going to move that over? Come on, shut the fuck up. People have preferences. Say it proud, Vermin. But they can't be an asshole to you. That's the thing. It's not a moral statement. It's a statement of preference. You don't have to make moral arguments for your preference. That's fine. Just saying.
Of course, it inspires deviancy. Am I sad for you to have had that conversation with a family member that doesn't want to be seen out in public with you? That hurts. Hearing you say it hurts. But it's also understanding, if your father has religious belief and has faith, that he understands what evil you're putting into the world. Right?
Again, notice how she will construct these empty nothing arguments, but then like the real argument there isn't justified or explained. It's just stated. She can't state or make the case for evil or deviancy or degeneracy or whatever. So all the rest of it, this facile, that's why she's pretending to be so soft here, you know?
We talk about pornography addiction, how it has destroyed men, how it is humiliating men, and it is humiliating women. The men that transact with you and watch pornography are humiliated. They're closing themselves in the room. They don't want people to know that they're watching it. And then, of course, you on the other end.
I like how, knowing her audience, she has to be like, okay, here's how your bad experiences with the porn industry are actually devastating to men. Because, you know, she understands that her audience is A, full of gooners and, you know, rehabbed gooners, and B, like 90% male. At least 90% male.
Of that, you're being humiliated. They are paying or not paying to watch you be humiliated. And so, yeah, to that extent, I definitely feel bad. But I just want to make it clear that for some reason, people are trying to separate OnlyFans from what she is doing. It's the exact same thing, right? OnlyFans is the updated pornography. I'm sure she has in OnlyFans.
Okay, so this is actually really interesting because it's basically a response to something she didn't hear me say, but I already said, which is that OnlyFans is distinct from the porn industry. I want this to be clear. This proves my point exactly. The only thing that Candace Owens has an issue with is the moral degeneracy of exposing your nudity in a public fashion. She doesn't care at all about the porn scene, the abuse in the porn scene, the specific treatment of porn stars, the context or the economics of anything involving that industry, because that's not the moral degeneracy. She doesn't care about Riley Reid or other porn stars being raped or blackmailed or extorted or anything like that. That stuff tends to be more in the porn industry than OnlyFans, of course. She's fine with all of that. She doesn't care. The only thing she cares about is you put nudity online. That's it. And in that capacity, there is no difference between an OnlyFans porn star and somebody who was a mainstream porn star the way Riley Reid is. It just comes across as incredibly unconvincing. You know what I mean? Even to their side. Because a bunch of the guys who watch this Candace Owens video are going to watch her go, yeah, pornography is degrading to the human soul. F these degenerates. And then they're going to go jerk off to interracial porn, or, knowing Candace Owens' audience, probably, I don't know, child porn. They'll just run right off to it, you know?
Account. And this is what it is. Like, women are transacting sex, and in place of it, they're having dysfunctional relationships because at the end of the day, yes, there are many men that will sleep with you. There are few men that will bring you home to their mothers. And there are even fewer men who have mothers that want you to be brought into their homes. And so it becomes difficult to have relationships. She commented.
Would the goal then not be to find a partner who's cool with it? Again, like all the arguments that she's making are other people's problems.
That she didn't think that she wanted to have children. Well, an update, she actually did. She recently had a child. She's now a mother of one. And
Cool.
she's been talking about how she's getting so many nasty comments. And it breaks my heart for the innocent life that she.
All right, watch this. Candace Owens is now going to blame Riley Reid for men online making nasty comments about Riley Reid's child. So she's going to say, well, you kind of brought this upon yourself by being naked and taking dick online. Therefore, you're actually the one responsible for the abuse your child is receiving.
She's created. Obviously, no one should be sending hatred toward a child, but you know that that hatred is going to follow that child for the rest of her life. That is the truth, right? This child is going to suffer for the rest of her life because of the decisions of her parents. They're going to say, oh, men, when they get mad at her, or girls, when they get mad at her, are going to talk about what her mother does for a living. They're going to talk about why it is that she has money, because people are mean.
Well, here's a question. Why is that a thing that people care about? Why are we taking for granted, accepting uncritically all the social biases?
And children are mean, and they try out being mean when they're in schools. And so, yeah, it's a horrible decision that she made. And by the way,
See,
she's
a decision that she made. There we go. Yep.
not cleaning up her life. She's not suddenly not being a porn star. She's just lamenting and being honest about the consequences. She decided to choose money over having a healthy and a happy life. And in reality, it's not an either or. She could have had both and chose a different career. If you like,
Is she not retired? Oh, I guess she's not. She has a 2022 AVN award for Best Oral Sex Scene with Skin Diamond and Winston Burbank, entitled Oral Queens Riley Reid and Skin Diamond Give Spit-Filled Sloppy Blowjob. Is that really the official production name of the scene that they shot? That's not just the name of a video some rando uploaded? That's actually the... Okay. Oh, that's a classic. That sounds like a video title name, not like the official name of the... Okay, well, In Disco Elysium, your character can become a fascist. Kind of. It's complicated. And in so doing, in your introspection, you recognize that fascism is, at its core, uh, being weird about women. And man, I really think that's true. I think it's more fundamental even than racism. I think that sexual insecurity and anxiety are like the root cause of fascism on a basic level, and it precedes everything else. All other systems, racism, xenophobia, class discrimination, all of them are like a extension of that. Which is why it's important for people like Candace Owens to maintain sexual insecurity in her audience, because if you break from that, that's why Andrew Tate, the incel movement, these are gifts to the conservatives, because the more sexually insecure and anxious young men are, the easier it is to groom them into fascism. Yes, it is one of the reasons they don't like trans people. Yeah, it is 100%, because a lot of sexual anxiety in young men and people broadly is rooted in this highly essentialist, highly divisive understanding of sex, gender, and sexuality, which is why gay and trans people kind of break that up by introducing fluidity and the possibility of change. They, you kind of release some pressure on the whole situation. You open it up a little bit more. You make it more complicated but less coercive. Vaush, is jerking to porn once daily too much in your opinion? I can't answer that for you. Only if it interferes with other parts of your life. Yeah, okay, that's the actual criteria that you should follow, okay? People don't have porn addictions because they jerk off 3 times a day, because sometimes people just have incredibly high libidos. People have porn addictions when their masturbation or they're looking at pornography becomes intrusive or like interferes with their life, right? Like it's a lot like alcohol. Like think of it like alcohol, right? Sometimes people can drink a decent amount, but it's not really a dependency thing, and they can just not drink for a while and it doesn't matter to them because they're just, the circumstances that made them want to drink weren't present. So whatever, they just happen to drink a lot. Though obviously, if you're like destructively drunk, that's bad in itself. But I guess what I'm saying is, if you've ever been like out in the town, and you've been like doing errands or whatever, and you've thought like, I can't wait to go home and jerk off, I miss looking at porn, that's a little weird to me, and that should probably be examined. I think you should critically examine those beliefs. All right.